Roman Reigns in trouble. Oba Femi shocked Raw. Raw turned chaotic. Roman vs. Oba was war. Oba Femi went off. What happens when the most dominant man in WWE finally runs into somebody who genuinely doesn't fear him? And what if Roman Reigns just discovered the one superstar crazy enough to look him dead in the eyes and say, "Yeah, I'm taking your spot"? Because that's exactly what this felt like. Not a normal WWE RAW match. Not even a regular championship fight. This felt like two eras crashing into each other at full speed with absolutely no breaks. And somehow, by the end of the night, the entire arena looked stunned, the commentary team sounded exhausted, and fans online were arguing like their Wi-Fi bills depended on it. Seriously, if you watched this live, you already know the vibe was different from the second Roman Reigns walked out. That entrance alone felt dangerous. The camera kept shaking because the crowd was losing their minds, people throwing the ones up everywhere, and Roman had that slow tribal chief walk like he already knew the ending before the match even started. That confidence. That arrogance. That "I own this place" energy. Roman doesn't even rush anymore. He moves like a final boss in a video game who already beat you 3 times before you picked up the controller. And then there was Oba Femi. Man. Can we talk about how terrifying this dude looks under those Raw lights for a second? Because Oba walked out like somebody who genuinely enjoys violence a little too much. No nervous energy. No hesitation. No happy to be here smile. Nothing. Just this cold stare that made it feel like Roman might have underestimated him for the first time in a while. And the scary part? The crowd started believing in Oba immediately. That's when things got interesting. You could actually feel the atmosphere changing before they even locked up. Fans were split. Half the arena acknowledging Roman. The other half looking at Oba Femi like he might really pull this off. And honestly, WWE did a great job making this feel unpredictable because usually with Roman matches, you kind of expect the story to follow a certain formula. Not this time. This felt messy. This felt personal. And the second the bell rang, the chaos started instantly. No feeling out process. No slow technical wrestling sequence. Nope. Roman came forward throwing heavy shots immediately, trying to remind Oba exactly who runs WWE. But Oba didn't back down. That's the part that shocked everybody. He stood there trading punches with Roman Reigns like this was just another Tuesday afternoon. Which is honestly insane behavior when you think about it. Who willingly stands in the middle of the ring and starts exchanging bombs with Roman Reigns? That's not confidence. That's either greatness or a complete lack of survival instincts. There's no middle ground. And Roman noticed it too. You could literally see the expression on his face changing. At first he looked calm. Then slightly annoyed. Then confused. Then that little moment happened where Roman realized, oh, this guy is actually serious. That's when the match started turning into absolute war. Oba caught Roman with that massive shoulder tackle and the crowd exploded. Roman rolled outside trying to regroup, and Michael Cole sounded like he'd just seen a ghost. Meanwhile, the fans were screaming because suddenly this giant powerhouse was throwing Roman around like it was nothing. Nothing. That almost never happens. Roman usually controls the pace. Roman usually slows things down and manipulates the match however he wants. But Oba kept interrupting everything. Every time Roman tried to build momentum, Oba answered with something even more brutal. And honestly, some of those strikes looked ridiculously stiff. Like, somebody definitely woke up sore the next morning. There was one moment where Roman hit a massive uppercut and Oba barely moved. Barely moved. The crowd actually reacted louder to Oba standing still than to the punch itself. That's how crazy this atmosphere became. And then Roman smiled. Not the happy smile either. That dangerous smile. The "okay now I'm annoyed" smile. You know the one. That was the exact second the match changed from competitive into violent. Roman started unloading on Oba in the corner with those heavy clotheslines, those straight shots to the face, stomping him down, trash-talking him the entire time. And Roman's trash talk during matches is underrated, by the way. Dude wrestles like a mafia boss collecting debt money. Every 5 seconds he's yelling something disrespectful. Stay down. You not ready. This is my ring. Meanwhile, Oba just kept getting back up like a horror movie villain. No panic. No fear. Just pure aggression. And that started getting into Roman's head. You could tell. Because Roman began wrestling faster than usual, and that's never a good sign for his opponents. When Roman speeds up, it means he's trying to end somebody before they become a bigger problem. So Roman hits the big boot. Then the drive-by. Then another massive clothesline. 1, 2. Kick out. The arena exploded again. At this point, the fans were fully invested because nobody expected Oba Femi to survive this long against Roman Reigns. And that's what made every near fall feel bigger and bigger. You could hear people screaming in the background after every kick out like they were watching the ending of a superhero movie. And then we got the first spear attempt. Oh man. Roman charged full speed across the ring and Oba absolutely flattened him with a counter that looked like it nearly broke the ring in half. Even the referee jumped back. The crowd lost it. Commentary lost it. Honestly, I think half of Twitter probably threw their phones across the room at that moment. Because suddenly it became real. Roman Reigns was in trouble. Actual trouble. And Roman sold it perfectly too. He rolled outside holding his ribs, pacing around slowly, trying to think, trying to reset. That's one thing Roman does better now than almost anybody in wrestling: he makes moments breathe. He lets the audience sit in the shock. Meanwhile, Oba stood inside the ring staring him down like a monster guarding territory. Cinema. Pure cinema. And look, I know wrestling fans throw that word around too much sometimes. Somebody eats a super kick and suddenly people are screaming cinema online like they're film critics. Relax, brother. But this? This actually felt cinematic. The pacing. The tension. The crowd reactions. Everything felt huge. And then things somehow became even crazier. Roman finally snapped. He started throwing the steel steps around outside the ring, yelling at the referee, yelling at the crowd, yelling at Oba.